Hello, my name is Stefan Freedman. I'm with Jessica Clements. This is our second interview, and we invite you to look at the first interview if you like a framework for the animal image journey that we're going to do a sample of. And I want to give another little bit of context, which is something that I call the invisible dance, because to me this work has quite a lot to do with dancing, although we're actually doing it sitting on chairs. And that's because dancing is one portal to an inner world, and a lot of what happens in dancing that interests me is not visible to the outsider. It's visible only to the person that's participating. It's a journey. So that's the comparison and the link for me between the work we're doing today and dance work. So, Jess, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So, I'm going to ask you to give the viewers just a little bit of a structure of what a session might be like, so there's a context when you're doing a session with me.
Yes, certainly. Well, I'm going to introduce you again to the animal of your heart. That's the primary animal I go in with. And it's a very simple and easy journey, really stepping each time further and further into your creativity. So first of all, I get you to close your eyes and take a big deep breath. And then I ask you to take your attention down to your feet, grounding you, growing roots from your feet. And then from that, I'm going to ask you to grow a tree all the way up your body, almost asking you to lift your inner hands up to become the branches at the top.
Inner hands, but I'm not having to do it in my body. I do it in my imagination. Yeah.
Unless you want to do it in your body, that's fine too.
Not required.
Not required, no. And then once you're there, I'm going to ask you to really lean back into the tree. What does it feel like against your skin? Stepping into the idea of touch. And then listen to how the wind moving through your tree sounds like. And what are the noises of your tree? Really stepping into each of the senses. And then the smell. What is the smell of your tree? Is it like mossy ground? Or is it like perhaps your tree is near the sea and you can smell the sea from it? It's really creating this inner world within you. Then I'm going to ask you to take your attention to your heart, and I'm going to ask you to create a flower at your heart, just 6 inches from your heart. And I'm going to ask you again to use all your senses to find out what this flower looks like, and ultimately taking a deep breath of the scent, which it may have or it may not. That's totally up to you. But it's almost as if you are bringing to life this flower with your lungs, with your sense of smell. So then I'm going to ask you to see beyond that flower to a door. I'm going to ask you to walk up to it, place your hand upon it. And what does it feel like? Ask you what it's made of. What does it sound like? And then I'm going to ask you to open the door, to walk through and greet the animal of your heart.
And you explained to me that having a door is it's a very good transition between what you're familiar with and comfortable with, and whatever is beyond that might want us inside you, in a sense, that might want to reveal itself.
And so you don't know what's behind that door.
Yeah.
So you can leave your conscious, I wonder, is it going to be a horse or a dragon or a phoenix or whatever? And that has to drop because you can't see behind the door.
You sort of leave your mental shoes at the door and step
absolutely.
through. Yeah.
And you step through, and whatever animal that turns up is the animal you need to journey with. We might take a little bit of time again to find out whether or not your animal might like to make itself known to you through touch. But we'll do that whenever we get, and once we've gone through that door and you've met the animal of your heart, the questions then become less important, because then it's your journey, and what you see then feeds into what I'll be asking you.
And I've enjoyed that freedom in our sessions, that if there's something arising for me, I don't have to, as it were, go along with your questions. I might say, well, you asked me that, but actually this is...
And that is fine.
So, and then you're willing to follow what's arising. And I do feel I want to say that up till now, the imagery has been the most accessible to me. I've never yet experienced a smell or a touch in my visualization, but I'm open to that. Anything can happen at any time.
And I do also say, if this is appropriate for you,
and
then I ask the question, which opens it even more, gives you permission to say, well, actually, it isn't really working for me. And I go, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then we go down another avenue.
Yeah. Well,
excellent. Very exciting.
I think that's great. I hope that gives people enough of a sense of what we're doing and why. And I'm ready to go for it. I've got to scratch myself. I've got an inner itch.
Brilliant. And please, if you want to scratch anything, fine.
And I tend to shut my eyes. I'm going to take my glasses off, and it somehow is just one less encumbrance.
Yes, and that's the first thing, getting yourself as comfortable as you possibly can. And again, giving yourself permission.
I might have to shift about a bit sometimes.
Absolutely, to shift about as much as you need. And also to stand up if you need. Again, it's your comfort is so important.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So, closing your eyes, sinking back into your chair, and breathe. And breathe. And breathe. And breathing in love and light. And breathing out all that no longer serves you of today. And breathing in love and light. And breathing out perhaps the tiredness you feel of today. And breathing in love and light. And breathing out all that no longer serves you of yesterday and the past. And breathing in love and light. And breathing out all of the worries about tomorrow and your future. Allowing your breath to bring you back to right here, right now. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. And taking your attention down to your feet. How are they feeling?
A bit tingly.
Brilliant. And begin now to grow roots from your feet, deep into the ground, anchoring yourself into Mother Earth, Gaia. And feel the nourishment the plants gain from the earth, the water, and everything else that nourishes them. And then begin to grow this tree up from your ankles, up your legs, past your hips, your torso, your shoulders, and your inner hands. Lift upwards. Your fingers becoming the topmost branches and the topmost leaves. And taking your attention now to your heart. And there, 6 inches from your heart, is a flower. Can you see it?
Not exactly. It's like almost like one of those windmills that blow around in the wind in a garden. It's sort of spinning.
Yes.
And it's got different colours, and it looks more plastic than petals for some reason, but that's what's there.
That's okay. Can you pick it up?
It sort of flew upwards when I reached for it. it's hovering in a rather attractive way, like a sort of like a
Lovely.
hovering, rotating flower-like thingy.
And I always used to blow these wonderful things. What happens when you blow at it? Or yawn at it?
Oh, it seems to like it. It was like, oh, you noticed me. Ah, yeah, it's kind of it's coming a bit closer and it's a bit more colourful. It's as if almost as if it's blushing.
Lovely. Reassure it that you will take more notice of it each day. Perhaps making this a daily thing you do, as you perhaps, the first door you open when you get up in the morning, beforehand place your flower there.
Interesting. It's spinning faster now. It's as if it's purring almost.
Ah, lovely. Like a cat. Thank it for being there.
Okay.
And then look up ahead, about 6 feet ahead, and there is a door.
Excuse me yawning, but it's because I'm relaxing.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely
It's like a
fine.
big hollow. It's almost heart-shaped. It's quite a nice looking hollow actually, and it seems to be, I almost want to say it's in a tree, but it's wider than any hollow I've ever seen in a tree. I feel like I could, if I just ducked slightly, I could just go through it or into it. There's no door exactly, it's just that there's light beyond. So what's beyond is different from what's ahead.
That's fine. Walk up to it. What does it feel like when you touch it?
It's become more like the entrance of a cave with kind of slate type. Slate and stone entrance, but and actually the aperture now is smaller and a bit slightly less inviting, but still there.
Do you need a key for this door?
No, I just need to sort of duck under really. There's definitely a bit of ducking involved.
Okay. So gently duck under.
Because there is no door, it's just an opening.
Yes, but knowing that this portal, which is just what the door is, behind this or through it is the animal of your heart.
Okay.
Just settle yourself with that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to crawl through.
That's
It's sort of
right.
gradually getting smaller and smaller. I'm thinking, will I be able to get out? But yes, I have to crawl through. Oh, and now I'm by a kind of slightly boggy body of water, like a little boggy stream. It's not a tourist spot by any means, but it's sort of okay. It's muddy water and muddy banks and some grass.
So call for the animal of your heart.
Okay. Not yet.
That's fine.
Or sing some blue.
Place your hand out and ask if your animal might come and make itself known to you through touch.
It's in the water. It's a large creature in the water. It's looking rather like a sea lion. It seems very unlikely in a little, boggy stream, but it's like a sea lion. Or a seal or sea lion, I'm not quite sure.
So what about your other senses? What are they telling you? What are the sounds your seal is making? I've just got this lovely idea in my head of...
Yeah, I know, if only, but there's no sound, but
No?
I did want to touch it, and it wants to touch me, and it feels
Good.
very smooth.
Excellent.
A little cold and very smooth
Yes.
and friendly, actually.
Ask your seal.
And very sort of slippery and a bit sort of like water muddy. Yeah.
Ask your seal if there is anything you can do for your seal. And
What's a hug?
Oh, yes. Snuggle in for a hug.
I know I'm a bit cold and slippery, but I really like being hugged. Well, it's the first time I've had a watery animal of the heart. In the past it's been a koala, but quite often. But yeah, this one seems just as up for hugs.
Lovely.
And actually quite needy of a hug. Snuggling into me saying, oh phew, been needing this.
Yes. And breathe. Stay in that hug. Stay in that hug for as long as you need it, as well as your seal.
It's nice.
Hugs are. And breathe.
I want to do what I do with our cats when they snuggle and I've got to go somewhere, which is very, very gently and in the most loving and unshocking way possible, just to sort of move a tiny, tiny bit as if to alert them that because otherwise they get really quite put out.
Cats do have an ability to do that. Yes.
Preparation.
You're moving.
Are gradually coming to an end. Because from my end it feels complete.
Ask your seal if it is complete for your seal, or does he need more hugs?
Yes, yes. I don't really want you to separate from me at all.
Well, ask if your seal would be happy if you merge within him. And this means going and becoming this animal. Would he be happy about that?
Yeah, so would I.
And how would you like to go within? Sometimes we go through the fin, the eyes, the ears, or just through in a hug.
I think it will be because I've accepted the invitation to be in a water creature's body, and the seal is still in the water. I can feel the cold of it. So I guess in a way I'm inside the seal. I don't know how it happened.
So what does it feel like to be seeing through the eyes of a seal?
Not seeing much, I'm feeling the water. It feels really nice, it's sort of silky, it's cool. It looked, from the outside, it looked like a sort of bit of a muddy, narrow space, but now from the inside there's a lot of space.
Good.
It's more like, sort of unboundaried body of water, which is lovely, feels lovely, like being embraced by the water. And I'm travelling in it.
Are you? He's moving.
Yeah, we're moving.
And they are wonderful when they move. Balletic.
Yeah. So I don't know about that because I'm inside.
Yes.
But I can see it too. I can see it. It's not doing anything very balletic at the moment, just kind of like making its way through this silky water. Rather dark.
Is it?
Yeah.
Perhaps that's why you can't see.
Yeah.
Ask the seal what time of day it is.
What do you mean? Says the seal.
It is unimportant. That's fine.
But I think it's after, it's sort of like the twilight time, it seems to me.
Perhaps you might like to ask your seal where you're going.
Well, the seal says the thing is, I don't do that. I just sort of start and then we see where we get to.
Lovely. Into the unknown. That's an unusual place for us humans to be in. You know, getting up, going out to the car, putting your key in and just going, oh, where shall I go today?
Yeah.
And off you go.
This seal doesn't seem to have a hunting agenda. It's just sort of like hanging out, finding out, discovering, and it's not feeling even like the sense of being on a big adventure, because this is normal. It's like we just start and we see where we're going to. It's all part of the water's embrace.
Yes, and it's rare that we as humans give ourselves permission to do that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice having this, for the moment, being a seal identified.
And breathe. And breathe.
We're out in the big ocean now. There's a little bit of silvery light. I think it must be the end of the day. Feels like the end of the day.
And so what are you feeling, Stefan, about this journey?
Well, now I'm starting to feel just slightly sort of, where are we going? How far are we going? How long are we going to be? Do we get lunch?
Tell that to your seal. Tell that to your seal.
So says, well, you can stay with me or not. I don't mind. I just following my intuition. I'm just going where I go.
And how does that make you feel?
Noticing how agenda-driven I normally am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell that to your animal.
She said, no, that's why I'm glad you're with me at the moment.
Yes. To experience something different.
I'm part of your heart. I'm your heart. Your heart is more like this. It's just like being, discovering.
Yes.
But I don't know if I don't know what it signifies, but it's as if I'm watching now from quite a distance, and the seal is getting further and further out to sea, and I feel as though I'm not necessarily in that now, or don't need to be.
You've moved apart.
Yeah.
Thank the seal for journeying with you, and reassure him that this idea, this concept of just being and going wherever, is something that you'll bring more into your life.
I don't know that I can honestly say that, because it's been my intention for a long time. I'd need to sort of like square it with the part of me that's very purpose driven.
But you have done that today.
Yeah.
In this journey.
And it didn't actually take much physical time, but it felt like a good stretch of freedom.
And this is where time morphs, time changes. If you can lie back into this inner realm of not knowing where you're going to go.
It's spacious. It is spacious. I like that.
Yes, and so you don't have to actually bring it into your external life, your outer life.
Okay.
Until you have perhaps really embraced it in an inner sense. And then opportunities for you to be in this space will open up in your outer world.
It sounds right. I'll trust you on that. I still don't want to make any promises.
No, not asking for promises.
I feel a little resistance about that.
Yeah. Thank that resistance. And ask if that resistance might find a guise of an animal.
There's bloody sense of humour in my unconscious. I've got the white rabbit from Alice in Wonderland with the clock.
Yep.
And I've met him before.
Yep, you have
met him before.
indeed.
Time, be time aware. Come on,
Yes.
you can't do that.
Yep.
Tea? No. Put it down. Do something useful.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So thank the rabbit, the head of the rabbit, and
He's a rabbit.
he's a rabbit. Yes, thank him, and ask if there is anything you can do for him.
Be time aware.
Would he be interested in meeting a certain seal you have just met?
Ugh, I haven't got time for that.
And perhaps if you could call to the seal, would he be interested to meet your rabbit?
Well, they're both a bit wary of each other, but yes, they're sort of going along with it because I've asked them to.
Well,
and they
they're
are parts of me.
polarities.
Yeah.
And it's a case of bringing them closer together.
They're while having judgments about one another, they're willing to be in the same space because I've asked them to. We're in a sort of a cavern, really.
Mm. And so, ask if there is anything any of them would like to say to each other, bringing it into a verbal form.
And the seal is chuckling. He's saying, "Oh my God, man, you're so tense. You're so hung up. Do you know that you're obsessive? I mean, I love you, but I feel for you." And let's see what the rabbit wants to say. That's all very well for you. Someone's got to do the serious stuff. If you won't do it, I've got to do more. And you see the position you're putting me in. You're making me take all the responsibility, and you just want to go sort of sealing off or swanning off.
And how does the seal react to that?
Being slightly remorseful for being so superior. It's kind of getting the point. Kind of still wishing the rabbit would chill out a bit.
Yeah.
Because from the seal's point of view, it's like, it's so overdone.
So would the seal like to ask the rabbit if he might merge with the seal to find out what it is like to be the seal? The rabbit can say no.
So, well, you should be merging with me to find out what it's like to be the rabbit.
What does the seal say to that?
I don't want to be you. It's a bit of a standoff here.
It is, yes. How about if you place your hand out and for one fin,
yes,
and place the other hand out for a little rabbit's paw?
I feel like we're ready to do a circle dance now.
Yes, do a circle dance.
It's going to be a very interesting
Fantastic,
one. 4 paws, 2
yes.
pins, and legs and hands. I think it might be an idea if we can find some music in common and
Lovely.
a rhythm in common.
I think some techno for the rabbit.
Oh God.
And some chill out.
No, there's no part of me that really relates to that. But
No, exactly.
the techno. Can we have acoustic instruments?
Done.
Okay. Yeah, the rabbit's getting a bit more playful. He
Good.
likes to dance.
Yeah, it's action.
It's action.
There's movement.
It's action, but it's also
Yes.
pleasurable action. And
Yes.
prior to that,
Yes.
it all seemed like stressful, anxious action.
And what about the seal? How does the seal feel about this little bit of circle dance?
Slightly smug. See?
Yes.
I knew you'd enjoy it. Everybody does if they allow themselves to.
Yeah, of course. And how do you usually end a circle dance? Do you collapse into the middle?
That was a very nice idea. One of the unusual things about circle dance, we often end with some silence.
Oh, lovely.
Because the inner dance continues for a while, so we don't want to just throw it away at the end when the music stops.
Is this something that your rabbit and your seal would be happy to do?
Well, you can guess, can't you?
I can imagine your seal would be quite happy about that.
Yeah,
your
sure.
rabbit.
Yeah, sure. And the rabbit says, I could make a little window for that.
Okay.
How long is it? Are we nearly there yet?
Breathe. And breathe. And breathe.
Yeah, the rabbits let the pocket watch drop.
Good.
Because it's like, okay, it is nice to have time out.
Yes.
The agenda could include time out.
And ask the seal whether or not the ritual, the discipline of the circle dance might be brought into his life, because he just wants to kind of go wherever, but to perhaps circle back into something more formulaic would be something he'd be interested in doing with the rabbit.
No. But, he's easygoing.
Yeah.
If it serves a higher purpose or porpoise or something, he'll probably go along with it, because he does like me. He's my heart, and my heart wants all the parts of me to be connected.
Yeah. It feels as if this circle dance has been healing.
Yeah, actually I do feel, despite that little standoff, that there's been sort of emerging, not that we're all one, but we're all connected, and there's a feeling of mutual support and respect, which was definitely not there a few minutes ago. Yeah. And I'm feeling more comfortable with these two, rather than feeling I'm in the middle of two adversaries.
Warring.
Yeah. We're getting on all right now.
Ask if there is any more healing that can occur here between these two, apart from a wee bit of sleep.
Come into the water, says the seal to the rabbit. I think you'd really get something from that. I'm not accustomed to getting my fur muddy and wet, but since today's about, sort of going beyond limitations, I'll go for it.
Wonderful.
He does like it though.
I bet.
Yeah, the watch is on the bank.
Good.
So as not to get wet.
Nice little waistcoat.
Oh, I didn't even think about the waistcoat.
No.
I think he's got it on.
Good. Are you in the water as well?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It does feel healing, and it feels like I'm hungry for healing energy.
Yes.
These parts of me are hungry for it.
And the lovely thing is that we are our own healer. We can bring healing to ourselves and with our animals. This can be done so gently, compassionately, with lots of giggles.
Yeah, I love the way that sometimes my animals do exhibit a sense of humour. I don't know where they get it from.
You.
Right.
How far are you out to sea?
It's not a sea situation anymore. The seal came back and we were in this sort of cavern, but now there's nice deep gentle water kind of in the cavern scene. So we're in that. Feels quite protected.
Is there anything else you need to do here?
I feel I'd like to leave the rabbit with something, I'm not sure what, but maybe we can see if either me or the seal has got something to give to that rabbit.
Well, look in your left hand. There may be a gift for your rabbit.
It's daft. It's a sort of Bugs Bunny carrot. Because I kind of want to help him to find the Bugs Bunny side of his own character, you know.
Does he recognise who Bugs Bunny is?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Is he happy to take it from you?
He says,
And is there anything he might like to give to you by way of a gift?
Well, I wondered if you might want to give me his watch.
Yes, ask him if that's what he'd like to give you.
He says, actually, yes, if you would just sort of, you know, look at it and incorporate it. Don't just put it in your pocket. Yeah, then I could have more playtime.
Yes. Perfect. And has your rabbit a gift for your seal?
Well, I think the gift is to be available sometimes as a playmate.
Oh,
That's
brilliant.
how it feels. It's not a
Fantastic.
material gift.
And what about the other way around? Do you have a gift also for your seal?
Do I have a gift for my seal?
Perhaps that you might find that in your right hand.
Oh my God, it's a sandwich.
A sandwich.
Not sure what's in it. Hopefully not
Tuna.
fish. Yeah. Oh dear.
Sprat.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but it seems simple and immediate.
And how does your seal receive it?
It says thank you for the thought. Not sure. Thank you for the thought. It's really the gift is the hug and the dance and the the time together, the merging.
And then ask if the seal has a gift for you, perhaps. Although, as you say, he's already given you so much.
Just remember, I'm here. I like hugs, and so do you. So, what's the problem?
That's really important, and it's so easy to forget.
Whenever
you're in dire need of a hug, it's the last thing on your list of things to do. And we've got to lift it up to the top of the to-do list.
And now I can see some sense, why isn't it that lovely huggy koala? Because the seal is in water, and the water feels very much where I want to be, in my sort of heart feeling. It feels kind of a bit womb-like, actually.
So thank your two animals, the animal of your heart, your seal, and the animal of the opposite of that, the time, your rabbit, little waistcoat. And has he got his watch back? Or
oh yes, he's picked it up. He says, I'm not properly ready for it yet.
And perhaps walk back to your tree with both of them.
Yeah, I'm back to where I was, which it sort of started tree-like, it became more cave-like. It's still cave-like now, but there is still the aperture. I will be able to get out.
So wave goodbye to your animals, thanking them once again, and reassure them both that you'll be back very, very soon to journey some more with them both. And then move through your little portal, your doorway, through your cave, your tree, back into your tree. Leaning yourself against your tree again, feeling the strength of this mighty, mighty tree. And with a big, deep, deep breath, and a stretch if you need one.
I don't usually yawn this much. I was a bit short of sleep last night, but it does feel releasing to yawn as well.
It does, very much so. And in your own time, open your eyes.
Where'd the rabbit go?
And how are you feeling?
Well, I noticed that there's just a little bit of tear release, which feels good to me. Yes, actually, it's hard to describe the feeling, but it's a very lovely feeling.
Good.
Because the water did feel, it had a sort of, initially just felt very healing and lovely and silky, and then it did start to feel a little bit womb-like. I suppose a lot of my focus is on putting value out there, and there's value in that, but I realise from that there's a hunger and a need for nurturing myself, and actually it didn't seem to take a lot of time or effort if it was a pleasure.
It can take just 10 minutes every morning, just quietening yourself, closing your eyes, doing whatever meditative practice you find easy. And then sometimes that 10 minutes might extend to 20 minutes, it might disappear to 5 minutes, but as long as you can keep that meditative daily practice, you will be so nourished. I mean, sometimes for me I go to 40 minutes, an hour and a half, but it really depends on what I'm going through.
And what was very clear there was that because I recognise the March hare in me, because very often when I'm about to do my stretches, take my vitamin pills, do something that is to do with self-nurturing, oh, I really haven't got time today. My list is so pressing. It's so pressing. Everything's urgent. Everyone's waiting for this, for that, for the other. And I promise this, that, the other. And that is all true. But if that's my pattern in life, and it is many days, I'm the manager of that life. And I'm managing it in that way. I'm basically the sort of, not the slave of, but very much under the sway of the white rabbit approach, and not doing much that enables yourself. My heart and my, the other part.
And this was very interesting.
Yeah.
We went in looking for the animal of your heart, and what emerged from that was a polarity journey. Looking at this new but very extreme understanding of what your heart was needing, because of the extremes that rabbit, that tick-tock time was forcing upon you. Your seal had to really move into the other extreme, and then most of that journey was about bringing them back together as close as one can.
And when you asked me if I could promise the seal that I would, and I felt that resistance, and I also thought, oh, don't ask me that. But it was so useful that you asked me that, because then you invited me to embody the resistance, and that became very clear.
And ultimately, if we journey some more on this issue, these two animals will merge, and a new animal can sometimes emerge, which represents them both, but is a merging of them both. Thank you.
A seal that eats carrots.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. And
my pleasure.
also, I love the session, but also thank you for doing it to camera, which gives people an idea. Every session is completely unique, and every person is unique. It gives you some idea about what the process might be like, which is better than just trying to explain it.
Yes, it is experiential, and you can't explain something that somebody is going through. So no, that was brilliant. Thank you.
And I want to add a little thing. When we spoke before the session, I said, well, what do you like to call these sessions? And you hesitated and explained that as soon as we put a label on it and give it words, it tends to feed into our expectations, and the ideal thing is to come at it with an absolutely blank canvas, just to allow ourselves to speak to ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
So in a way it might be better if there isn't one formulaic way.
Well, that's why I use the animal of your heart. It's very general.
Yeah.
And from that can be another portal, as it was to you, towards polarity journey, or towards moving towards other chakras, or perhaps into relationship. There's a whole myriad of places one can go, but that will be individual to you or the person I'll be dealing with.
And that's something that's worth saying too, in case it isn't obvious, before we have a session. Jess will say to me, is there a theme that you want to work on? And then I might say, well, yes, but let's also see what comes up, because something else might come up.
A broad canvas into which we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.